Yo, what's good? Welcome back to another episode of Levitation, the Sunday series, and today we got a great one. Lock in, let's go. When you come in contact with something that's a game changer, something that made you better or made your life a little bit easier, and has the potential of making your family and friends' life better and easy also. Normally what you would do is you would put people on, you would put them on game, you would tell them about it. You explain what it is. If we are quick to put other people on to things that are helpful, how come we don't do the same thing when it comes down to Christ? If he's a game changer, as we believe he is, if he's as helpful as we claim him to be, well, why aren't you sharing the good news? And that doesn't look like having a sign and forcing Jesus down people's throats, but it's as simple as inviting him into conversation. But let's look at scripture. In Matthew chapter 9, starting at verse 9, it says, "As Jesus was walking along, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at his tax collector's booth. 'Follow me and be my disciple,' Jesus said to him. So Matthew got up and followed him." Let me give you a little background on Matthew. Matthew was a tax collector. And in the Jewish community at that time, the Jewish people despised tax collectors just a little bit less than they despised the Roman Empire. And the reason why they despised tax collectors was because tax collectors were Jewish people, and they were in charge of collecting taxes for Caesar, but they would put their own additional charge and get paid from it. So they was looked at as traitors, sellouts, greedy people. Here is Jesus, the Son of God. Perfect. He's choosing his followers, and he chooses a man that's in a position that's despised by his very culture. Just imagine what Matthew must have seen in Jesus for him to leave security and follow him. And it wasn't as if Matthew already knew Jesus before. Jesus was a stranger, and literally Jesus just said, "Hey, come follow me." And Matthew decides to leave security because he was getting paid from it to follow Jesus. Matthew had to have seen his genuineness, his truthfulness, his compassion. And in one encounter with Jesus, Matthew dropped everything and changed. Not only that, but Matthew shows us how we should respond to our lives being changed. In that same passage of scripture, it says, later Matthew invited Jesus and his disciples to his home as dinner guests, along with many tax collectors and other disreputable sinners. My dog Matthew threw a party. He didn't just invite people that understood the change that he went through, but he also invited people who were living the same lifestyle that he used to live. And he invited them so they can encounter the change that changed him. Now you gotta look at it now. It doesn't say Matthew went to the local bar. It doesn't say Matthew went to another friend's party. But Matthew set the atmosphere and created his own environment and threw his own party. What's the point? I'm not saying to put yourself in tempting situations in order to reach people. Don't let the world draw you, but you draw them. Practically, what does that look like? Don't stop communicating with your friends who haven't changed their life around. But when they call you to talk about a problem or a situation, invite Jesus into the convo. Your partner call you to tell you that he's stressed with his relationship. Hear him out, but don't forget to ask him, have you prayed about it? What you're doing, you're inviting spirituality into the mix. Your friend call you and say, girl, I don't know if I should start this business or not. Instead of just giving them economic advice, invite Jesus into the conversation. Did you pray about actually starting this business, or you just came up with this on your own? But if we look further in scripture, we see what a lot of church people do. It says, but when the Pharisees saw this, they asked his disciples, why does your teacher eat with such scum? When Jesus heard this, he said, healthy people don't need a doctor, sick people do. Some seasoned saints have been saved for so long that they forget that they were once the person that they judging so much. They'll sometimes see you with certain people that look differently, that may still be in that lifestyle, and they'll judge your salvation because you're associated with them. But Jesus gave the perfect answer. Healthy people don't need a doctor. Sick people do. If you're so opposed to being with the sick, how can you ever guide them to the doctor? If you don't even want to be around them, how would they ever be healed? Now, if they judge Jesus for fellowshipping with people, what make you think people ain't gonna judge you? So what that tells me is that should be an expectation. But it's my duty to set the atmosphere with other people and invite Jesus into it. That's what these episodes are about. It's weekly invitation. So I want to encourage you to continue to send invite to people, especially people who need them. Because you are aware of the change that Jesus has done for you, you should be eager to offer that same change to somebody else. So you have to ask yourself, are you like Matthew, experiencing change and inviting people to experience that same change. Something for you to think about. But I want to encourage you to keep on inviting if you are, and if you haven't yet, it's time to start. This is Levitation, where we're reaching our highest potential. Stay blessed.